fire them up. That's what we do here at the Andrew Gosser Show. We fire them up right here on 103.9 WYAB. The start of another work week. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. We're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on X. We're streaming on YouTube. We're even streaming on Facebook. And we're streaming at the mothership that is WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up the 50,000 watt blowtorch that is 103.9, like, share, and subscribe to one of the streams. We'd appreciate that. Follow me on X at Andrew Gosser, AndrewGasser. Phone number today, if you want to be on the program, be awesome, 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. And the mission here, whether it be disclosure, whether it be about the crazy Europeans, whether it be about Israel or Iran, the mission remains the same. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? Y'all are the saints. And a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word incites anger. It's been an awesome morning so far. A really good morning. I hope everybody had a great weekend. The Sweet Bee, Toots, and I, we all had a great weekend. And I'm really grateful for some of my neighbors. I'm just going to say it like that. Sometimes things happen, and you always know who your friends are. And I'll just leave it at that. This is hour number 3 for me. Mondays and Tuesdays, I always come in and do the second hour with Brother Clay, and I really appreciate that opportunity. Thank you, Brother Clay. 7 to 9, Monday through Friday, Clay Edwards Show, top-rated morning show in Mississippi. Not even debatable, not arguable. There's no debate to be had. But normally Matt Bishop comes in, and he sometimes misses it, and we get to do a super show. And I really wasn't planning on having names like Steve Willick, Randall Carlson, Graham Hancock, and talking about the space aliens and the biblical worldview. But I think I want to continue that a little bit, because there are some of y'all who have been really texting in and talking about that. And with the age of disclosure, with the President of the United States talking about it, with respected, intelligent people with grave responsibility, potentially nuclear bomb droppers, coming up and reporting unidentified flying objects or unidentified unknown alien or phenomena, whatever the heck the phenomena crap is. It's a UFO, UAP, whatever AP is. We get a chance to talk about it in a way that perhaps we couldn't have done just 10 years ago. And Clay and I were talking about it during the shift change, about how nice it is to talk about something other than just politics. Don't worry, I've got all the receipts on Tennessee. I've got all the receipts on Israel. I've got all the receipts on the redistricting map here in Mississippi. With long story short, it's not happening. And, I've got everything that we want to talk about on the Iran war. But I do find it fascinating that when I see senior aviators in the United States Air Force, Marine Corps, Navy, Army, trying to describe things that just don't make sense, I have to listen to them. Me, myself, I've never seen a UFO up in the air, flying around in my AWACS, or when I was in the backseat of a F-15 or F-16. Never saw it. So I don't have a real strong opinion either way on that. But there's a lot of people who do. And, with the Joe Rogan show and Congressman Tim Burchett coming on and saying, we haven't seen nothing yet, that's frightening to me, because he's going to be the next sitting U.S. Senator in Tennessee. He'll be the junior senator from Tennessee when everything shakes out in the wash here coming up with the election. When he says something like that, I get kind of chilled. And I do question. It's not that I question my biblical worldview. It's where does it fit in? And people can say, it doesn't talk about the space aliens everywhere. And then all of a sudden people are throwing out Ezekiel and Revelation and Genesis. And it really gives us a chance to actually kind of decompress a little bit and think about all the geography, the mounds in Mississippi. People don't know about this, but there's the mounds of Mississippi. We've never unearthed it. I wonder if we've done LiDAR work on that to actually go and expose that kind of stuff. I'm sure this wasn't on your bingo card for 2026, Andrew Gosser talking about the mounds of Mississippi, the pyramids, disclosure, but yet here we are, and it's gonna impact us all. I am a firm believer that there is a lot of technology that is out there that we do not know about yet. Not that, I would say that corporations trying to hide it. I do believe that they're worried about the human psyche. Maybe that's why they're melting our brains down. Maybe that's why they're getting us so addicted to these cell phones and melting our brains down, so that way we can't critically think when some of this stuff actually comes out in the wash. Have you have we thought about that? Because I'll tell you what, this weekend, I had plenty of examples of people sitting there on their cell phones acting the fool, and I can understand wanting to pull up reference material, but when you can't form your argument and defend your argument without going to your cell phone or your Google or your tablet, I'm not sure I wanna follow you down that road. Not being a hater, I'm just telling you the truth. Whatever happened to the debates where people could sit there and stand at a lectern with a piece of paper and a pencil and moderator, and you just go at it from memory? Well, we have so much more memory in our cell phones. We train our human brains anymore to have memory and recall? We were talking about that, with some church friends Saturday. We went to a restaurant in Madison that had to leave Jackson. I won't say the name, they don't advertise here, but it was okay. I had the number. So and I do have a little bit of a frog in my throat, so I apologize for that. I'll try to hit the dump button when I cough. But, but yeah, I did have the number 7 burger, if you know, you know, and it was pretty good, the chips. But we were talking about that, and fellowship is so important in life. It really is. Hanging out with friends, whether you have alcoholic beverage or a non-alcoholic beverage, that's here or there. I think I had the sweet tea, which was delicious. But we were talking about being able to talk about subjects other than politics and just decompress. And, I know it's Monday, we're just getting back into the groove for another work week, but we wanna decompress. Not everything has to be so life or death like the news media makes you want you to believe. I would say pay attention to the weather, that's important. I did see, I think this is Magnolia Tribune. Let me go here, pull this up real quick. Magnolia Tribune, governor reports 26 injured in the Pine Belt from the tornadoes the other day. That was just crazy. We actually, for those of us who are weather nerds out there, and many of you have texted in saying, yes, you are a weather nerd. Um, we watched some of the Ryan Hall, y'all stream, and some of the pictures from that tornado south of Brookhaven. My gosh, it's a miracle nobody died. It's a miracle nobody died. Frank Corder from Magnolia Tribune reporting on that 26 were injured. It's, uh it's fascinating to me that we live in a world where we can have apps on our phone that will tell your exact location within 1 meter, 3 and a quarter feet of where you're standing, and yet you don't have the up-to-date weather. I do find it, refreshing to know that so many people do have their weather alerts on, and I find it a big deal, being stationed at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma. May 8th is a day that, lives in infamy for me, and, I hope to have next May 8th when I'm on the air. I wanna have my 2 sons in the studio with me, and I wanna recalibrate May 8th, because that day was absolutely insane. We were in Moore, Oklahoma, and, I was picking up my kids, little tornado story here, and, we ended up having to go to a safe room, and me and the father, uh, of the lady who was watching my kids were like, "Let's go out and see what's going on." and we literally walked out to the front door, opened the door, we looked, and I won't say what we said, but it started with O. We slammed the door and dove into the tornado safe room, and on our side of the street that we were on, my SUV, my car didn't have a nick. On the other side of the street, it was completely tore up, cars trashed, trees ripped down, everything, and, I can remember my middle son sitting there gripping the mag 4D cell mag light for dear life and that was his job in the tornado safe room to hold it. Whole house was shaking and rattling and rolling. I think he might have had some shingle damage, I don't know, but ever since that moment, I've been really weather aware. And then obviously last year with the flash floods in Texas with at the Christian camps and all the political ground that was tried to be made out of that, blaming President Trump for that too. It's just important that we stay up to date on things like that. And, weather radio is 34 bucks. If you want I think I tweeted it out last year, I linked it out, and apparently a lot of you bought them. And it's always on, it's beautiful. It's solar charged, you can plug it into the wall if you want. You can charge your cell phones on it, and the good thing is if there's a storm coming, you actually are aware. One of the stories that I did have in the stack of stuff is the hurricane report for 2026 is coming out. And wouldn't you know it, it's just about the same as it was last year. Expectation for more higher than average year of hurricanes. We're gonna have a super El Nino, ladies and gentlemen. What's that mean for the Gulf of America? What's that mean for the Atlantic and the Pacific? Well, there's some people that are saying we should be very concerned. I've watched some of that too to get smart on it. As many of you know, I'm kind of a skeptic of this global warming crap. The climate's always changing. It's called weather. And the Earth goes through cycles of deep heating and deep cooling. You can say humans are the reason and the responsible or are responsible for it all, but it's just simply the geology doesn't bear that out. We're off and running here on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. It is Monday. It's a little bit different type of a show. We'll be right back. Y'all are breaking my balls, man. I'm sitting on the phone looking up Bible verses. And Brother Eric's sitting there saying, "Hey, you playing games?" I don't even have any games on my phone, but I love it. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in and listening. We're gonna talk about the hurricane forecast coming up, and then we'll talk about politics. I was really encouraged with England and their reform elections. the liberals, the Democrats over there lost 1,400 MPs, which is just ridiculous. It's the biggest wallop ever. So there's a chance for England, but we'll talk about it. I don't keep my powder dry. I'm fighting this cough and got to save my voice. So I'm going to take a little bit of break.
Rates as low as 0.9% on select models, or spring into savings with up to $3,000 in customer cash with approved credit. Get to Mazda Jackson today, where certified pre-owned vehicles and hassle-free trade-in options are also available. Shop online at MazdaJackson.com or visit Mazda Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed.
I did post the El Nino story
From car wrecks
on
to
my
malpractice,
X account.
Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free, no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. Feeling great today on this Monday morning. And the number, if you want to be on the program, is 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. People in the chat are busting me up, me checking my cell phone while I'm on the air and while I'm doing that. Well, I'm reading the text messages that you're sending me. That's what's going on. And I don't even have any video games on my phone, like Candy Crush and all that craziness. I get ads for stuff like that. There's some type of tower game you're supposed to be able to relax with. I'm like, oh, the heck with all that. Let's take phone call real quick here. And you're there. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I just got a question for you. So I'm seeing stuff all over the internet, which makes it 100% true. You know, every time you see it on the internet, it's got to be true. But anyway, where after Iran attacked the radar domes that were surrounding it, and they're losing us billions of dollars. Anyway, now they're having record rainfall. And so that kind of sounds like HARP to me. And I didn't know if you had seen the same thing or if it was just coming through on my feed, but I know HARP is a thing.
Yep.
And I know they can create clouds, and I know they can create rainfall. So why would they not do the same thing here? Kind of like when that hurricane just set above North Carolina.
Weather is it's a crazy thing, and I totally think that there's HARP type technology out there. I genuinely do. I can't prove it, can't put my finger on it. You know, it's all this rumor and innuendo. You know what they try to do, Brother Rick, is they try to put a stigma on if you believe on chemtrails or cloud trails. They put a stigma on you, and they ridicule you if you believe in the space aliens. They put a stigma and ridicule you and belittle you if you're a believer of Jesus Christ. They do all these things to try to mock you, make you stay in your little cubby hole and everything.
Yeah, if you stand out from the flock, and I use that word intentionally.
Oh yeah,
then you get picked on.
Yeah, well, I don't think we get picked on as much as we used to. I think people are starting to, no pun intended, we're starting to wake up. We're no longer woke, and it's not that it's going to happen overnight, but there's going to be a gradual realization that there is a lot of stuff that's not just our government did. I think it's above our government. And I don't like saying the New World Order or one world government or the deep state, but whatever you want to call it, there's something above President Trump and Keir Starmer and whoever the president of France is, or Benjamin Netanyahu. There's somebody above him too.
Well, this whole disclosure thing, not to jump, I know I'm jumping, but
that's all right.
Whatever. Why do they only say it's going to shake Christianity to its core?
Because it's the only true religion. And I
understand, but why not shake the Muslims? Why not shake the Hindus? Why not shake the Buddhists?
Well, here,
why not shake Christianity?
I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you. When you go and look at these people who are complaining at school boards at county boards, at election commissions, whatever, they bring up any religion, nothing's ever said about it. But the moment that you bring up Christianity or Judaism,
You're talking about.
it's on like a WWE SmackDown main event starring Danhausen. I'll tell you
There's
what.
a reason why they're targeting them, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to look at what they're targeting, and you'll know what they're trying to affect.
But, well, I think that I would say that people who believe in their faith are strong-willed people, but it's just that Christianity is the dominant religion. But it won't be for long. If you look at the numbers for Christian increasing, Islam's increasing, and then you look at the other major world religions, you'll see that it's catching up. But what?
Hey, can I bring up one thing from Friday?
Yeah, of course.
Real quick. So Friday, you were talking about the number of people voting and how small, like, a couple hundred votes here, couple hundred votes there.
Yep.
Only half the state of Mississippi votes. So guys, if y'all get a little motivated and can just convince 2 or 3 people to vote, and I don't even care how they vote, just vote. Just make your voice heard. We can change the state.
What county are you in?
I'm in Holmes.
Holmes County. Yep, that's the second biggest Democrat county in the state.
Yeah, I know.
So there's room to grow there, right? We were talking.
There's
Room
in all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's what's going to be the topic of the show, and you can kind of guest host this with me. Let's talk about redistricting, because it's not going to happen in Mississippi, ladies and gentlemen. I've done the research. I've made the political phone calls around the state, talking to different people, and the consensus is that unless President Trump by name calls out Mississippi Tate Reeves and Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann, nothing's really going to happen, because the Republican Party just doesn't want to do it. And I like Mike Hurst. I think he's done a good job of trying to bring in new kids into the party. I'm not going to deny that. It's actually happening. It's not happening as quick as I wanted to, but there oftentimes when we get this plan together, our plans don't work as fast as we'd like it to go. So with that being said, how do you feel about the redistricting issue? Would you want to go for it or not?
I think it would be a good idea. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the only way that we're going to redistrict is by kind of what I was just saying, is by getting people motivated to go out and vote ourselves, make our districts change for what we want them to be, because they're not going to do it for us. They like the status quo.
I don't want a black district. I want a district. And
I want an informed district.
Yep.
I don't care what color. I want them informed. And the problem is the narrative just isn't getting through the mesh. It's not getting out.
Well, I kind of going to push back a little bit on that, because the number of texts that I get to my text line are increasingly more and more young black men who are genuinely interested in politics. I've got one gentleman, not going to use his name, told me not to, and I'm not going to. But he wants to understand how to become a precinct delegate. He wants to understand how the system was. He went to school, born and raised in Jackson, went to school in Jackson, and he didn't get any of that education from Jackson public school system. So we're sitting down and having lunch later this week, and I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff for him, dude. You know me, I'll print it out and say, hey, here's where you can go. Here's the links. I want to make sure that people like him get informed, because I don't know if you saw, this poll came out, but Republicanism inside the black community is rising. It's higher now than it was in 2016 or 2020, which is surprising considering all the propaganda that we're getting subjected to.
I think there's so much propaganda that everybody's starting to see it. You can only put so much mustard on a hamburger before it's not a hamburger anymore. And I think it's just so much out there that people are going, that can't be. They're like, there's no way, it's just too much. And I think the pendulum is going to start swinging back our way, maybe.
I think the pendulum will swing, but the George, I don't want to put like a name on it, but the Davos, George Soros types, they're seeing the pendulum swing, but they're smart people, Rick. They definitely want to go ahead and try to have their point of view survive this pendulum swing. And I'm not like being a black pilled person or pessimistic, but it's going to take a lot of people changing their point of view and being vocal about it. And there's not a lot of people like you or I, Rick, or Clay Edwards or Kim Wade, Chip Matthews, Lindsey Beckham, who will sit there and say the things that need to be said. They'll just go along to get along.
Well, I kind of think this is their last hurrah. When I say they, I mean whoever's got the control and set the narrative. Because I mean, like you said, the AI's out there. You've got the talk shows, you got the independent shows, you've got all this stuff, and knowledge is just smacking people in the face. And I kind of think if they don't get it done now, so I don't know what that means. They're going to go for broke. Is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? I don't know. But the age of awakening is here.
Yeah, I think we're either going to make it happen or we're going to be doomed forever, because you look at these Gen A kids, man, their brains are fried by age 3. My granddaughter, she turns 3 in July, and that girl has not had more than 100 hours in her life on a tablet or a smartphone. And most of that time comes on when she is on the phone is when she's FaceTiming, or if they're in their storm shelter like they were last week up in Wisconsin. My son dodged a tornado, but he heard it. And you know, when kids are, you need to entertain your kids. It's great, but we've unfortunately
nothing wrong with a BB gun.
yeah. Well, man, I think my son's wife would absolutely flip out if I bought my granddaughter a BB gun. Although I want to get her one. I bought my niece a BB gun, and that went over like a turd in a punch bowl. Oh my
Right.
God! But I did it, man, for her 16th birthday. It was awesome, and I've always been
Who was it? Jordan Peterson. Not that I like him a lot, but he said something that was it stuck with me. It's teach your kids to do dangerous things safely.
Dude, that's like the motto of Generation X.
Right.
Dude, ramping our bikes off of jumps.
Yeah.
And I mean,
we ramped our bikes over people.
Yeah, dude. Like we'd line them up, not shoulder to shoulder, but foot to head.
Yeah. Where's the biggest hill? I'm gonna see how fast I can go.
Man, I smashed the heck out of Billy Carroll one time, man. I felt so bad. I didn't hit the ramp just right, man, and I friggin' nailed him. Oh, that was terrible. My Huffy bicycle.
I yanked my best friend off of a bicycle with a lasso, so I understand.
Oh, you lassoed him?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is too funny. That is too funny. Rick, what else you got, man?
Man, I don't know. I'm so tired of hearing all this crap about the virus. Why did they take a ship that was quarantined? It was self-quarantined and shipped people to Nebraska. That makes no sense. I mean, what? You're involved with airline, you're involved in transportation, all kind. Leave them on the ship. I know it's harsh, but come on, dude.
Yep. Well, the people who got the clot shot are more susceptible to the hantavirus.
It was in the vaccine. It says it in the warning on the vaccine.
Everybody.
And by the way, if you break down what hanta means in Latin, it means chaos.
It does. It does. The sweet pea was telling me that last night. And if you have gotten the COVID vaccination shot, just what I want you to do right now, we are the most educated and informed audience in Mississippi. I want you to grok it, chat GPT it, Google it, whatever you got to do to see if hantavirus was in your vaccination. Because if it was, you've been exposed to it. And I'm telling you, there's something really evil and sinister afoot with these pharmaceutical companies. I don't trust them farther than I can throw.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump the boat. If it was in the shot, then the PCR test, if they roll that junk back out, and it is total junk. You could test a papaya. They did it. They found corona.
Yep.
They tested all kind of llamas and all kind of stuff. Anyway, what I'm getting at is it's already in your system. So whether you're sick or not, if you take a PCR test and you've had the shot, you're going to show up positive. Don't go along with it. Are you sick or are you not sick? You.
Yep. Rick, I got to let you go. I got to take this commercial break, but I do appreciate the phone call, man, especially on a day like today where I've got my stories, but it's not laid out in my normal format. And it was a lot of fun catching up with you, man. We'll have to stay in
Yes, sir.
touch. Stay in touch. When I get up to Holmes County, man, we're gonna go have lunch. I really appreciate it. That was Brother Rick. We're gonna take a commercial break. Eric, I see your message, man. I'll answer it when we get back. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
WYAB.
Fox News commentary with David Marcus next.
I'm alpine skier Michaela Schifrin. I've won the most World Cup ski races in history. But what does success mean to me? Success means discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us. And it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management firms in the country. If you're looking for success, surround yourself with the people who will get you there. If you're an advisor or investor, choose Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE. Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Here's David Marcus.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune, much like his mentor and predecessor, Senator Mitch McConnell, is a creature of that austere and august upper body of Congress who has completely forgotten his duty to Republican voters. It's simple math. The Senate issue that the GOP electorate cares most about is passing the Save America Act with its voter ID requirements and other election security measures, even if it means blowing up the filibuster. But GOP leadership insists that ending the 60-vote threshold and pushing this hyper-popular legislation through is simply impossible. Thune's dilemma is whether his duty in this situation is to the institution of the Senate or to the 95% of Republican voters shouting from the mountaintop to just pass the bill. If you can't do that, then somebody else needs to step in who can.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
It's no secret the Honda and Acura vehicles are some of the best built and most popular vehicles in America. Both Clinton Body Shops are Pro First certified to repair your Honda or Acura to the high standard of safety and appearance your car was designed to meet. Visit collision.honda.com and watch the videos that explain why it's so important to choose a body shop certified by North American Honda. In Clinton or in Richland, choose Clinton Body Shop. We work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
You can show your pride and patriotism in honor of the 250th birthday of this great nation by proudly flying a flag. And a complete flag source on I-55 in Jackson is the place to find it. All sizes for all purposes. And they have the official 250-year celebration flag. Have a look at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
This is DeMario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating.
Man, I didn't think Brother Rick and I went that long. Apparently we did.
That can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Ream and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Number, if you want to be part of the program, is 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. Do have some chats going in. It's great to see Brother Shane checking in. I got to get you that thing for you to clean for me. I appreciate that. Just wasn't feeling up to it yesterday. Brother Eric writes, yes, sir. But that's not what you were saying about reading books last week when you were talking about reading actual paper books, not on the phone. Yeah, my granddaughter, she has a plethora of books. The Sweet Bee, Toots Snap, she's got all the Old Testament books in kids form, of course, the picture books, New Testament, all that. We got her hooked up there. But when you're in the tornado shelter and things are rocking around, sometimes the idiot device is the way to go. I'm a firm believer in that. And it is just one of those things where I know you're just giving me a little bit of grief, but I think it's important that the audience holds me accountable. If I'm telling you, hey, to read a book, then hey, we're going to read a book. And it's definitely something that you just have to use it so judiciously. And you want to make sure that when your kids are sitting there watching stuff, whether it be on YouTube, whatever, it's educational. I was talking to my son about it, and he was like, "Dad, you always allowed us to watch the television, but it was always educational." And believe it or not, there was a lot of really great educational programming. Both of my kids can cook incredibly well, and I blame the Food Network because that was our entertainment back then. Europe is in the toilet. I don't know how you're ever gonna come back from where they're at right now, but we'll see. Well, that's interesting that you say that. I'm trying to get to the weather here, but people bring up stuff. Europe had England had elections last Thursday, and the Labour Party, aka the Democrats, lost 1,400 seats. The Tories or Republicans lost 300 seats. The Green Party gained about 300 seats, and the Reform Party, like the conservative Tea Party type party, gained 1,400 seats. They're actually the majority party now in England. And Keir Starmer is crying and whining, but England's trying to get itself back on track. We'll see what happens. England's in a tough spot, man. England's in a tough spot. They've completely opened up their country to immigration, and it's a lot of good places in North London. As many of you know, I'm an Arsenal fan, and North London is red. And I'm not making this a soccer show, but I know a lot of places there, and it's not the same anymore. The culture has completely changed from what it was. And well, Andrew, culture needs to change. It needs to change, but you can't forget where you came from. And I just find it very fascinating to see while the English the great people of Great Britain were told that they had to have this election and that the Reform Party couldn't win, that the Conservatives couldn't win, that we had to keep the Labour Party and the Tories in power. They got completely smashed at the election box. That they had places go for the Reform Party that like downtown Jackson going from Democrat to Republican. That's how strong the change was. So I'm not excited about where England's going, but I am curious to watch the train wreck. Much like we're going to have the train wreck here. And we can sit there and talk about all we want. I do have this story saved from last week. Let me find it here real quick. I know I saved it. Where did I put it? Last track right here. Oh, I don't know where I put it, but there was a water park event in Epic, Texas, Muslim only. If you were Christian, you weren't allowed to go. If you were white, you weren't allowed to go. If you were black, you weren't allowed to go. And they rented out a public water park. It was paid for by a tax increment district. I don't know how the people in Texas wanted to put a tax increment district for a water park, but this thing is like a Great Wolf Lodge kind of water park using taxpayer money. And they ended up having to change it all. it was absolutely infuriating to some people that they're starting to see the Sharia law creep into Texas. And that's why I'm such a big proponent of immigration reform here in Mississippi. It's why I talk about the immigration problems that are having in Europe, and I will continue to bring them up. We don't see it here, but it is here. It is laying low. There's a group of about 600 Iranians in Jackson, and they use the same two people every time when WLBT needs a story on Iran. They'll go to the same lady. This Mississippi GOP out or Mississippi conservative outreach thing. It's infuriating to me because I know a lot of Iranians, and I know I'm kind of all over the place here a little bit, but it's trying to tie in the Europe thing. The Iranians are absolutely infurious at these Iranians who think that Sharia law is a good thing. Let's take a call. Hey, go ahead. You're on the air.
What's happening, my brother?
Hey, brother Richard. I'm going. Great show today so far. I can't complain. 4 hours of radio. That's pretty special.
Wanted to share a story with you that I experienced.
You got 3 minutes, brother, or we'll have to wait.
I can do it in 3 minutes.
Okay.
1979. I was in school in college. I went to Hines, and then a buddy of mine and I went to Jackson State because we were paying our way through school and tuition was cheap. This was the height of the Iranian hostage crisis, and there were Iranians on that campus that gathered in the center square and began to burn an American flag. And I have never been so proud of my brothers, and I'm talking about black brothers, that they decided that was not the right thing to do, and they broke that up at the door.
Yeah.
My curious question today is, would that happen today?
I don't think it would. I think, unfortunately, American culture, it ebbs and it flows. And right now, I think it's in a ebbing part where, unfortunately, people think it's okay to burn the flag. And obviously, you have a First Amendment right to do it. But should you do it? I'm going to say no.
Being the minority on campus, it was me and a buddy of mine. I think there were two other white guys on campus, and that was it. And it was uplifting to me to sit there and go, get them, boys, because the brothers stood up right there. And I just thought to myself, let's roll that thing to 2026 and wonder if they would still break that up at the door, as Kim Wade said.
I don't think that will happen until we see something really bad happen in the United States. Even worse than even worse than something, God forbid, like a 9/11 attack. It would have to be something so devastating and monumental, to where enough people see, hey, this crap is coming for me and my family and my daughters, and that's what makes this whole thing infuriating, Richard, is the subjugation of women. And there's these women out there pushing this stuff.
Be careful what you wish for, brother. But just thought that popped in my head. I thought it was shared with you. Have a good day.
Oh, I appreciate it, Richard. You have a good one, too. I appreciate you kept it under 3 minutes, too, so I can stay on track. You are listening to The Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
Hormone therapy, medical weight loss, and the latest, greatest aesthetic treatments like facials, lasers, Botox, and so much more. This is where wellness and beauty meet, so that you can feel amazing inside and out. At Women's Wellness in Mississippi, the best version of you is waiting right around the corner.
Tee it up for a great cause with the Madison Lions Club. Join us on
on Thursday, May 21st at the beautiful Whisper Lake Golf Club for our annual golf tournament. Grab your team and enjoy a fun, competitive day on the course with prizes for first, second, and third place. Sponsorship opportunities are available to showcase your business while supporting the community. Sign up today at MadisonLionsClub.square.site. That's the Madison Lions Club Golf Tournament, Thursday, May 21st at Whisper Lake.
The only thing hotter than Mississippi in the summer is a Mississippi summer when the power goes out. This summer, be ready. Call Cowden Electric. They can install a permanent standby generator that automatically kicks on the second the power fails and keeps your whole house running. Hey, you already got a portable generator? Call Cowden Electric and let them set it up so you can safely plug it into your breaker box and power just the essentials. Don't wait for the next outage. Call Cowden Electric today or visit CowdenElectric.com and stay powered up when the grid goes down. CowdenElectric.com.
Men, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Do you have low sex drive? ED, always tired, depressed, loss of muscle mass, obese, loss of focus and drive? You, my friends, need to get your numbers checked. Check out Men's Health of Mississippi, located in Madison, Mississippi, and online at menshealthms.com. Guys, get your numbers checked today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call PeopleLease. Let PeopleLease take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. PeopleLease is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients who trust PeopleLease to simplify their employee administration. Visit PeopleLease.com. That's PeopleLease.com to learn more.
This ad is for all the guys who work hard and they expect their truck to do the same. At RPT Commercial, we have the accessories to help you on the job site. From names like Bedrock Flatbeds, WeatherGuard Toolboxes, Nap-High Service Bodies, ARE Camper Tops, Deck Storage Solutions, and so much more. Stop by our new store on Highway 80 in Pearl and check with our expert staff and see what they can do to make the job just a little bit easier on you. At RPT Commercial, trucks live here.
At Center for Orthodontics, we believe in family, tradition, and community. From kids to adults, Sandifer offers state-of-the-art orthodontic care with complimentary consultations, so everyone in the family can smile with confidence. Sandifer Orthodontics proudly supports Tri-County Academy and the Building on Tradition campaign, so a short drive to local businesses like Sandifer helps TCA thrive. Begin the journey to a beautiful smile at sandiferortho.com. Sandifer Orthodontics, Highland Village, Jackson, and Gateway Drive in Brandon.
Hi, this is Mary Beth Hardy, owner of Flora Pharmacy. Flora Pharmacy is proud to be locally owned and operated. We believe in the power of community and personalized care. At Flora Pharmacy, we treat you like family. And for your convenience, we offer curbside service and prescription home delivery. Just pull up and we'll bring your prescriptions right to you. Can't make it to our store? Flora Pharmacy will drive it to your doorstep. Come see the best pharmacy in town today at Flora Pharmacy, where care meets convenience. Highway 49 in Flora.
Get after it. We're getting after it here at the Andrew Gospel Show on 103.9 WYAB. I knew I had it in my stack of stuff from last week, and I didn't get a chance to say it. But people were questioning whether or not I was telling the truth about that Muslim-only water park event. Well, I've just re-X'd it on my X account at Andrew Gossip, so you're more than welcome to go check it out if you so choose. But this goes even deeper, ladies and gentlemen. It goes even deeper. Organizer of Texas Muslim-only water park event, but this goes even deeper. Also runs a misspelled Leering Center child care organization. Muslim-only water park event. Yes, that's right. They're just here to learn, or they never learn. Organization. Yes, that's right. I gotta make sure my glasses are right here to learn. Or they'd never. The head of a Texas Islamic group that rented out a taxpayer-funded water park for an event that was advertised as Muslim only was a childhood education center with the exact same unfortunate Leering Center typo is first seen in the infamous daycare in childhood education center or Minneapolis. Same unfortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the exact same sign too. Seen in the infamous. It's like these Somalis, they are efficient. Or Minneapolis. They get a graphic artist in there, they get a Leering Center, and they just carve and cut, paste that. I bet you find Leering Centers all over America. They are efficient. They get a graphic artist. Dr. Amina Knight, meet the owner. I bet you find Leering the Excellence Leering Center As
Dr.
misspelled
Amina
website
Knight,
header
meet the
reads,
owner.
located in the Fort
The
Worth
Excellence
suburb
Leering
of
Center.
Hearst. So,
As
and
misspelled
you know what?
website
Great
header
honor.
reads,
She's using the
located
American
in the
dream
Fort
to
Worth
further
suburb
her own
of
exploits, but
Hearst.
she's enslaving, and I mean that
you know
word
what?
sincerely.
Great honor. She's using
She's
the American
enslaving
dream
a
to
generation
further
of
her
young
own
women.
exploits, but she's enslaving.
I've been
and
saying
I
this
mean
for the
that
longest
word
time.
sincerely.
You know,
She's
in the 60s, they
enslaving
were
a
burning their
generation
bras
of
just
young
so they
women.
could put their grandkids and great grandkids into
I've been saying
burqas.
this for the longest time. You know, in the 60s, they were burning their bras just so that they could put their grandkids and
The center boasts
great-grandkids into burqas.
multiculturalism, small classroom sizes, healthy eating, and a warm, loving environment that feels like home. And staff with
center
degrees
boasts
in education,
multiculturalism,
accounting,
small
biology,
classroom sizes,
pharmacology,
healthy eating,
science,
and a
nursing,
warm,
and
loving
mathematics
environment that feels
from
like
their
home.
home countries.
And staff with degrees in education,
So you
accounting,
can see this is
biology,
another
pharmacology, science, nursing, and
immigration
mathematics
dropship
from
program
their home
by
countries.
the federal government,
So
Joe
you can see
Biden and
this is
company,
another
to try to make this
immigration
happen. It's everywhere,
dropship
ladies and
program
gentlemen.
by the federal government, Joe Biden and company.
That's
to
why
try to
I
make
get
this
so
happen.
fired up
It's everywhere, ladies and
about
gentlemen.
redistricting. That's why I get so impassioned
That's
about
why
the
I get so
anti-Sharia
fired
bills.
up about redistricting.
It's why I
That's why I
am
get
so
so
grateful and thankful
impassioned
to
about
groups
the
out there
anti-Sharia
that are
bills.
trying to actually educate and inform our
It's why I
our
am
electorate,
so grateful and thankful
including
to
the Republican
groups
women's
out there
clubs all
that
across
are trying to actually educate
the
and
state of
inform
Mississippi. I have to be
our
truthful. When I
electorate,
first heard about them, I was like,
including
why
the
isn't the party
Republican
doing
women's
this? But
clubs
this is
all
how we do it
across
in Mississippi.
the state of Mississippi.
And Mike Hurst
I have to be
is
truthful.
going to
When
be
I
a guest
first
at
heard
the
about
next
them, I was
Hines
like, why
County
isn't the party doing
Women's
this? But this is how
Republican
we do
Club.
it in Mississippi.
I'll talk about it on the other side of the break.
And Mike Hurst is going to be a
They
guest
want to
at the
get
next
people there to talk
Hines
about
County
it.
Women's
I think that's
Republican
great.
Club. I'll talk about
Because
it on
after
the other
everything
side
that
of the
happened
break.
in Tennessee and Indiana,
They want to get
maybe it'd be
people there
great
to
for
talk
our
about it.
Republican Party to
I
hear
think
from
that's
people
great.
who want redistricting or don't
Because
want
after everything that
redistricting.
happened in Tennessee and Indiana,
But I'll tell you what,
maybe it'd be great for our Republican
if we
Party
don't
to hear people
redistrict,
who want redistricting or don't
it
want
is a
redistricting.
real failure
But I'll
upon
tell you
our
what,
leadership.
if we
There's
don't
no reason not to
redistrict,
do it now.
it is a real
But let's not be like
failure
Indiana.
upon our leadership.
Let's be like Florida. Let's be like
There's no
Texas.
reason
Let's
not
be
to
like
do it now.
Tennessee.
But
Let's
not
make it
be like
happen. You are
Indiana.
tuned into the Andrew Gossip Show
Let's
on
be like
103.9
Florida. Let's
WYAB. We'll be right back. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB, where we're streaming on Rumble, we're streaming on X, we're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on Facebook, we're streaming at the mothership that is WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up our 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal that is 103.9, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the stream. Appreciate that. Let other people know about the show. Help grow the station, grow the community. I'd appreciate that. You can follow me on X. It's where I'm sharing all these stories, like I did in the last hour, about the Leering Center in Fort Worth, Texas. It's just Andrew Gosser, AndrewGasser. If you want to call into the show, I'd appreciate that too. That'd be awesome. 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. And no matter what's going on in the world, how crazy it is, hantavirus being injected into the COVID vaccine, whatever it is, the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? Y'all are the saints. That's right. Gentle word turns away anger, but a harsh word incites anger. Yep. Truer words never been spoken. Proverbs, great place to go. If you're seeking wisdom, read that chapter a day for 30 days and get back to me and see how that does for you. Well, last hour, when you're doing one of these super shows like this, sometimes the format goes a little bit haywire. And in the second segment of the last hour, I was supposed to talk about El Nino and the super El Nino. So I did put this out on X. This is coming from the Citizen Times. As summer approaches, meteorologists and climate scientists focus in on the El Nino predictions. Yep. If we remember last year when I started the show, they said it was going to be a banner year, and it really wasn't too bad. We had 2 big storms, and if FEMA would have done its job, we would have been okay. But they didn't, because they were going after the Trump voters. Attention has been drawn worldwide around predictions that El Nino will form in the weeks ahead, with median estimates showing that the climate pattern could particularly be strong in 2026. And, I sit there and I look at not just the NOAA, National Weather predictors, but I look at the citizen meteorologists, people like Ryan Hall, y'all, and Reed Timmer, and some of these other people who do weather for a living, but are not necessarily associated with the Weather Channel or the government. And I can't remember which one it was, but they said, we want to be truthful with our predictions, but we also want to make sure that people are paying attention. And the truth is that if I had a choice to either deal with a hurricane or deal with a tornado, I'd rather deal with a hurricane because I know enough time in advance to get the heck out of the way. And I think this is the problem that we're having with all this technology and data, is that we're making these predictions and we're hearing the boy who cried wolf. Oh, look out, look out, look out. Bad weather today. And then grandma buttons down the hatches and gets ready for bad weather. And it's clear in a million and super sunny. And people let their guard down. So my goal in talking about this hurricane prediction for 2026 is not to make you feel easier or more worried about the hurricane forecast, but really, what's your plan in place if there's a weather event like a hurricane? I can't remember that one that slammed right through Terry, Mississippi a couple of years ago. The eye literally went right over my farm. And we've got our solar backup panel plan. Shout out to Marty Cowden at Cowden Electric for hooking us up. And we've got our own water system. Our sheep are good to go. But are you ready for a storm like that, where you might lose power for 3 or 4 days? Or like in the ice storm this past year, where people were out without power for weeks? Let's continue with this. El Nino can affect weather significantly. Warmer waters associated with the pattern cause the Pacific jet stream to move south, with the northern and U.S. Canada becoming drier and warmer, which is happening right now. The Gulf Coast and Southeast, these periods are wetter than usual and have increased flooding. Well, we're in the middle of a drought. We need the water, and I have been grateful for the rain. Where our farm situates on the road that we live on, we're one of the lowest points. And so if there's too much runoff, there's too much water, it's going to end up going through a couple of my pastures. And what we call the front 40 can sometimes flood. It has flooded in the past, been up to 1.5 feet deep of water streaming through. Yeah, it's a lot of water. And it drains out within half a day, but it's a flash flooding event. But I'm sure the farmers would really appreciate a little bit more moisture. Not all at once like that, but hey, there we go. So El Niños have been associated with severe flooding and droughts, wildfires, and more. So here, the meteorologist is covering all their bases: severe flooding, severe drought, severe wildfires. It's almost like they're following the pharmaceutical company's lead. Just put in the name of drug here. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get sued. But it might have side effects that cause cancer, diarrhea, coughing, sneezing, runny nose, sleeplessness, thoughts of suicide, all sorts of stuff. And here you're just trying to have something that correcting a simple issue. I'm one of those weather nerds. You all know that. I know many of you are too, and you've asked about this. So I tried to get a story that kind of gives an overlay of what this is. What is El Nino and La Nina? Because we've been talking about this. This really came about in the late 80s and early 90s when we really started hearing about it. Or it could have been that that's when I went to high school and went through earth science class with Mr. Shepard. Oh man, he was a flaming lib, but he loved his earth science. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration explains that the El Nino and La Nina are opposite climate patterns. La Nina, meaning little girl in Spanish, brings stronger trade winds to the Pacific, pushing more warm water toward Asia. Off the west coast of the Americas, upwelling increases, bringing cold, nutrient-rich water to the surface. These cold waters in the Pacific push the jet stream northward, tending to lead to drought in the southern U.S. and heavy rains and flooding in the Pacific Northeast and Canada. I mean, this is stuff that our kids should know, but I'm not sure that they even teach this in science class. I'll ask the sweet toots when I get home tonight. Hey, what do you know about El Nino? What do you know about La Nina? Well, I'll ask her after Wednesday because that's when her chem test is. Got to keep her mind full of that chemistry nonsense. During an El Nino, which is what we're in, meaning little boy in Spanish, the conditions are reversed. Trade winds are weakened and the warm water is pushed back east toward the west coast of the Americas. El Nino can also affect weather significantly. Warmer waters cause the jet Pacific stream to move south, causing northern U.S. and Canada to become drier and warmer than usual. In the Gulf Coast and Southeast, periods are wetter than usual and have increased flooding. And here's the thing about what's going on when I look at it with my weather guessing eyes. The water in the Gulf of America and in the Atlantic, where the hurricanes spin up off the coast of Africa, it's all warmer. And warm water means energy. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty powerful storm season. Or at least the conditions are right. And with that in mind, we've sat down, and I know this sounds so weird, but I'm telling you, you need to take a few minutes of your day, take an hour of your life and say, what am I going to do if there's a hurricane that comes? My dentist talked about the one, Katrina, when it came through here and knocked out power for a week. How would you handle that? Do you have stuff on storage that you can say, hey, if I lose power for a week and a half, I'm gonna be good to go because I've got all these refrigerators full of food. Well, your refrigerator lost power. The power went out, the water went out. And I'm not trying to like scare people. I just want people to think. And with this hurricane season coming up, they're the chief meteorologist Zeke Housefather, not to be confused with Hausen, as a research. He's a energy and climate research at the Breakthrough Institute for Research Scientists with Berkeley Earth. Told it's going to be a quite strong event this year. And he said that the El Nino would be among the strongest seen in recent history. So now we're thinking about the hurricanes that came up through the Gulf of America past couple years. We've been actually pretty good. We had that one, like I said, went right over Terry. But other than that, hey, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Additionally, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration put the chances of a strong El Nino in 1 in 4. 1 in 4. Dogfish is asking, are they trying to scare us? I don't think so. I don't think so, Dogfish, because when you immediately I get very skeptical from whenever anything comes out from the government, but then I go look at the data myself. Bernadette always is amazed when she's like, "How can you see that?" Well, I can read the pressure bars and I look at the Cape and other things. And I can see where the storms are going to be, and I don't need to trust what the Weather Channel or the government's saying because I've educated myself. I think they're trying to make people prepared because, like what happened in Florida where they ran out of water, what happened in North Carolina where people were stranded for days, and there was no real plan. And right now is a great time to go get some water and put it in the closet, or make sure you have your generator installed by Cowden Electric. Because if the grid does go down, if the grid does go dark, right in the middle of it, that's not when you're going to want to start looking for stuff. Because I'm telling you what, all these stores like the Sam's Clubs and the Costco's, they're going to sell out of everything perishable, processed, stuff that can be cooked and eaten and not have to be refrigerated. Things that are all of a sudden going to freak out. You got a propane grill to cook your food on? Do you have a updated, or do you have a completely full propane bottle? I'll tell you what, not that they were gouging the prices, but that was the one thing last year when don't be scared, so what you're saying is don't be scared, be prepared. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's gonna be an interesting year. You know, the weather guessers have always tried to scare us a little bit to try to put the fear in us, but I don't wanna put the fear in. I just wanna have us all have a game plan. That's just the air battle manager in me. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. Wow, that was interesting. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. Phone number, if you want to make a phone call, is 601-879-5060. Well, let's talk about the Iran war, because I've gotten a few texts and talking about the different things that are going on there and how even Republicans think we're losing. And I'm sure of it. When I talked with other senior enlisted and officers who are retired in my friend circles and everything, we all agree that we're actually doing a great job. It's just that it's not being reported as such. And of course, the oil. Everybody's concerned about the oil. But we're not concerned about the terrorism. And when I say that Iran is the leader in the state sponsor of terrorism, I mean it. And this is coming from, what is this? Iran Today, Iran Insights. Iran runs dry as the Islamic Republic funds ideology and foreign proxies, i.e. terrorist camps. The blockade is working brilliantly. Yep, those ships would be out there deployed, spending the money, whether or not they were in a blockade or not. Some would say, Andrew, we're going through bombs. Yeah, we are. But you know what? We go through those bombs over time anyway. They'd just be used for training sorties and eventually sold off to Ukraine or Europe so that they can bolster their systems, because we got stuff like Odom, a laser that is absolutely incredible. But who was or who is the Islamic Republic of Iran funding? Well, everybody knows Hezbollah, $700 to $800 million annually. Do you know the type of terrorist organization you could operate with 7 to 800 million annually? Or about 2 days worth of oil, making money in Iran. Hamas, you've heard me talk about Hamas, $70 to $100 million annually. The Islamic Jihad, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, I had a couple people text me because they were too chicken to call in and argue with me that Islamic Jihad was Saudi Arabian, it wasn't Iranian. Well, here you go. It's all the Shias. I did my research. $30 million a year. Islamic Jihad has been a little bit more quiet lately. Definitely, though, not anybody to sleep on. No pun intended. How about this? The Houthis, $100 to $300 million a year annually. 100 to 300 million. Now, those are just the ones that you all know about. Let's talk about the ones that you've never heard of. Can't forget about the Iraqi militias and the PMF linked groups. Those are just Shia proxies operating inside Sunni Muslim country like Iran, Syria. $150 to $300 million. Do you see why we have this blockade going, why we're trying to shut down the Islamic Republic of Iran? Because they're not lobbing missiles at us. Well, they are now that we're at war, but they weren't lobbing missiles at us before this started. They were arming themselves to go to war, but they were funding all these proxy organizations that you didn't know about. The Hawaz Service Center, 270 to 280 million. Islamic Propaganda Association, 130 million. Supreme Council of Seminaries, 120 million to 130 million. Holy cow. You know me and names. Hold on a second here. Sorry about that. The Bishquatarora Cultural Society HQ, 35 to 40 million. The Islamic Culture and Relations Organization, 35 to 40 million. The Al Mustafa International University, 30 to 35 million. Other religious institutions combined, 120 to 200 million, for a total of 1.8 billion to 2.4 billion. That's why we're fighting this. They're funding all of these organizations. They're funding stuff inside the United States right now. Granted, they're not funding the Leering centers. That's more Somali. But Iran is the leading state sponsor of terrorism, and we don't want to go fight that war. We're all upset about our gas prices, which still aren't as high as they were under Biden or Obama. But with the advent of social media, it sure does feel like it, doesn't it? I could not be more impressed with the way that our United States Navy, Air Force, Marines, and even the Army with their air power has completely enforced this blockade, number one, but two, gone ahead and told the Iranians that they're not going to be able to negotiate out of this. They need to surrender. And is it painful right now? It is painful, but it shouldn't be. If you've noticed, there's no gas lines here in the United States. There won't be. We are under the spell of OPEC and their cartel. It's demonic, in my opinion. We're paying high gas prices when we shouldn't be paying high gas prices. At some point, this should be affecting it, the price, and people should say, you know what, we can live without this oil. Now, Saudi Arabia, OPEC, United Arab Emirates, and all them, they might be a little bit upset. But even them, they've found ways to get their oil to market over land. The world should not be held hostage by one 2-bit dictator Islamic Republic. We're better than that. And this is what really gets me, because, you know, the left tells us that we're supposed to care for people. We're supposed to be caring about the green or the environment. We're supposed to go for green energy. We're supposed to go for the hole in the ozone. We're supposed to go for closing that up. We're supposed to go for cooler weather. Well, there sure are the ones crapping themselves over these oil prices because their Starbucks is now charging $12 for a coffee. But they'll be the same ones who super glue their hands to the highway in Europe and say, no more oil. I say, let them have this experience. This is a learning opportunity. You have been we are so blessed and so fortunate. We've been afforded the opportunity to show people just how important the oil trade is. You can't get a better learning example than this. And if you think about it, they came out with the highest oil reserves, and these numbers fudge a little bit. And I'm, again, because I tell you the truth about this stuff, depending on whether it's heavy crude, light crude, the rankings kind of shift around. But between Canada, the United States, and Venezuela, we are 1, 2, and 3, respectfully, in the types of oil that we can produce. We're energy independent. We can, and then behind that is Russia, and then come all the Arab countries. It's almost like a military plan to suck all the wealth out of the Middle East first. And leave our oil reserves for us later down the road. Meanwhile, Mississippi farmers having a tough time. All the subsidies that keep the ability to grow food and sell to the public are not helping because fertilizer is so expensive. Seed is so expensive. I'll tell you this too. We have heirloom seeds that we propagate ourselves, and the heirlooms are not doing as well this year as they should be. There's been a difference between last year and this year. The Sweet Bee, Toots, and I, we've got controls. Maybe take some pictures and some videos and put it out about it. But I'd be curious to know if anybody else's gardens are just not quite as functioning well with heirloom seeds as they have been in the past. Now, the Monsanto seeds that we've got, they're rocking and rolling. Here we have the perfect opportunity to show America, to show the world that your energy can be derived from other places. You just have to want to work for it. And here's the other thing that happened with this war. We talked about the elections in the United Kingdom and Great Britain, England, whatever you want to call it today. Because of these oil prices, the elections have completely flipped on their heads, because even those people who were Labor, who were Democrat, they don't like paying the high gas prices. They don't want the food queues. What else do we have to tell the people when the government of England, through the Lloyd's of London, is skimming money off of each barrel of oil sold through the Straits of Hormuz via insurance, shipping insurance? You want to know why they're so liberal? Because they don't have to work for their money. They can just tax it off of other people's work. The oil men in the Persian Gulf. The reason China is all of a sudden so much more malleable to the United States, they have an energy shortage. They were banking on Venezuelan and Iranian oil to fund their war that's going to come up with Taiwan supposedly next year. They were planning on getting cheaper oil from Russia. And say what you want about Vlad. Vlad is a very astute businessman. He's like, these higher oil prices coming in for you, China? Yep, absolutely. There's a lot of, even though they're both communist countries, some would say socialist, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. They do not like one another. China has stolen a bunch of technical engineering stuff from Russia. Look at their MiG-29s, their Su-32s. China stole all of that technology from Russia. They bought some, and then they just reverse engineered it and turned it into their own thing. Golden opportunity to show the differences between capitalism and socialism. And some of you all are worried about a meme. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
.9 WYAB.
Need to ship something fast, print something now, or wrap the perfect gift? Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt, your one-stop shop for all major shipping carriers. We pack and ship with care, offer private mailbox rentals, copy services, create and print banners, print your photos, lamination, binding, and secure document shredding. We always have a notary available, and we do gift wrapping too. Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt across from Callaway's or online at mailroomgluckstadt.com. Stop in today and get it all done in one place.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Passengers from the U.S. taking off the Dutch cruise ship due to a hantavirus outbreak arrived in Omaha, Nebraska today, flown to a biocontainment facility to quarantine for a few days. ABC's Victor Oquendo says one couple, though, was taken to Atlanta.
17 Americans, one British national who lives here in the U.S. Two of them now in Atlanta. They're at Emory. They're being evaluated there at the moment. It is unclear to us why they were separated from the rest of this group.
The CDC says space issues in Nebraska led to sending the two passengers to Atlanta. President Trump rejected Iran's proposal for a ceasefire deal and says Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. The president also says he will implement a federal gas tax holiday that would shave off just about 18 cents for regular and 24 cents for diesel until the Strait of Hormuz reopens. Florida fire crews working to contain a brush fire in Miami-Dade and Broward counties near Highway 27. It's burned more than 5,600 acres. This is ABC.
Attention citizens.
citizens. The call is going out across all of 103.9 WYAB. Each Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m., General Bob's Swap Shop summons all able-bodied listeners to buy, sell, and trade. Sign up by calling the phone line and joining the campaign where your stuff becomes the hero of the hour. No shillings, no coins, no enlistment fees of any kind to peddle your personal items. Report for duty each Tuesday at 9 a.m. right here on 103.9 WYAB. General Bob needs you and your stuff.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crack, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun flip or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
Yeah, welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We're moving and grooving. This whole thing is tying together so nicely. It's like a neat little package wrapped in wrapping paper and a bow put on top. Trump says he aims to suspend gas tax for a period of time. It would take an act of Congress to do so. You know, I do not want Congress to suspend the gas tax. Do you know what Congress is working on right now? Has anybody heard of the Maverick Act? Put forward by disgraced Navy Captain Mark Kelly, who flew F-14s. The Maverick Act would bring 3 F-14 Deltas Ds out of the boneyard, give them to Aerospace Museum in Alabama, to put 2 of them on static display and bring 1 back to flight status so we can have them at air shows. That's really important. It's good for morale. It's good for the Navy. I mean, who doesn't think that the F-14 isn't the sexiest airplane to ever fly? I might be biased working on them for almost 10 years of my life, but I'll tell you what, I think they're sexier than the F-15. F-16's got a little something because it's just a little sleeker, but if you like a little junk in the trunk, F-14's your girl. She was big. She was hefty. She brought it to the fight. That's what our Congress needs to be working on, the Maverick Act. We don't need any gas tax breaks. What else are they working on? Oh, renaming post offices. That's what we got to do. We got to rename some post offices. That's what we got to do. To hell with the Save America Act. We can't do anything about that, but we can bring F-14s out of retirement. I'm not making this crap up. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but I've had 3 different people send me YouTubes from Sandbox, CW Lemoyne, and Max Afterburner. All did stories on bringing the F-14 out for air shows. People even offered to fly it. They don't even make the engines for it anymore. They don't even have the avionics for it. Why are we? And by the way, this won't be at any cost to the taxpayer. That's what the act says. No cost to the taxpayer. Well, neither is the Save America Act. We just want to make sure our voter rolls are clean. We just want to make sure that only Americans are voting in American elections. I don't expect to go vote in Germany's elections or Somalia's two-bit dictator elections. I don't want to vote there. I don't want to vote in Brazil or Venezuela or Cuba. I don't want to vote in any of those places. I want to vote in Terry, Mississippi. Actually, I vote in Jackson because I go early vote because sometimes I work the polls. But when I see what our government is doing and how they're distracting us with all this information, like the Maverick Act, and they're keeping us away from the Save America Act. And what else are they keeping us away from? Epstein files. I don't care if it's got every Republican in the US Senate on that list. Put it out. I don't care what Democrats are on there. I don't care if it's every Democrat in the House. Put it out. It's like one of the few things that America agrees with. America. 75% of African Americans want the Save America Act to protect our elections. Do it. I still don't understand why Cindy Hyde-Smith and Roger Wicker just don't put a hold stop on the Senate until we get an up or down vote on the Save America Act. And again, remember, we talked about it because it came over as a privileged resolution. It doesn't have to go through the filibuster project. It came over as a transmitted message from the Speaker of the House to Leader Thune, which means it can go straight to the floor in full debate. Do the speaking filibuster. That's great. I'll tune in. We'll stream it. We'll get popcorn. We'll stream it. Our government is so messed up. Suspending the federal gas tax, by the way, would save anywhere from 18 to 24 cents a gallon. So what makes the gasoline so high? Well, it's your state, county, town, taxes all piled up on top of each other. Some of them are pretty high. There's also some Iran claims it's incapable of digging enriched uranium out of bombed facilities. So what's Iran saying when they're saying that they can't dig out the enriched uranium? They can dig out the enriched uranium. Trump's saying that the ceasefire is on life support means that the ceasefire is on life support. I've got a video. I don't want to play it, but I'll tell you about it. The Iranians shot over 110 missiles at an aircraft carrier. Doesn't say which one. But all the missiles were shot down. And I'm not sure how many used the Sea Whiz, which is just the Gatling guns. I don't know how many were the Sea Sparrow missiles. I don't know how many were the SM-2 or the SM-6 missile. But I know that some of them were lasers. You know how many of those missiles actually attacked our ship, actually hit our ships? None. It's why the media isn't talking about it. It doesn't bleed. It doesn't fit their narrative. If you get nothing else out of this show, I don't want you to believe what I believe. I don't want you to think like I think. I just want you to think and do your own research. Why is it that the news doesn't talk about stuff like this? People don't talk about the mass murders, 42,000 Iranians murdered by the IRGC. Oh, that's not a big deal. I'm more worried about my Burger King value meal going up. I may or may not know about the 2 cheeseburger value meal at Burger King. I'm more concerned about my grocery bill. I'm more concerned, and you should be concerned about that. But we've sold out to the big box stores a long time ago. And I can just hear Rick and Richard chirping in my ear. We told you about the food prices and what's about to happen. All of a sudden, all the vanity stuff that we're focusing on right now, They're called the vanity projects, the Green New Deal, saving the turtles, studying the cocaine habits of the northern Minnesota field mouse, 1870 East African lesbian studies. All that crap's going to go straight to the wayside when things really get real. And I'm not one of these people who are tinfoil conspiracists. We've been very upfront about it. When the data is there and we can prove it, we'll go with it. But with all the stuff that some of these congressmen are putting out about disclosure, what the president has said about it, what President Obama has said about it. If you don't like President Trump, that's okay. Let's talk about what President Obama said. And don't forget about what Slick Willie said about it too. He was on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno back in 2003. There's a lot of information coming, and we have to all funnel it down and consume what we can consume, and the other stuff we got to let go. But it's going to be less and less time for entertainment and more time for doing real world work and real world thinking. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
WYAB.
Even with interest rates higher than recent norms, real estate values are still holding strong in Mississippi. We caught up again with one of Mississippi's top real estate agents, Shane Saxon, to explain his recent activity in the market.
In the last year or so, it's been the best of my career. Interest rates have been high, but the real estate market is here to stay. Land values especially are continuing to rise. Home values are holding. If you need help with anything in real estate, just give me a call.
Find Shane Saxon on Facebook or give him a call at 601-540-5040. Offer property 601-724-1435.
Looking to make technology work for your business instead of the other way around? Visit brentech.ms today. From reliable network infrastructure and wireless internet to cloud or on-premise backups, Brentech has solutions that keep your business connected, secure, and running smoothly. Don't let tech headaches slow you down. Discover how Brentech can simplify and elevate your business at brentech.ms. That's brentech.ms. Brentech, technology made easy.
It's road trip season again. Is your vehicle ready? Take your vehicle to Green's Tire and Auto on Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland to get it in tip-top shape before you head out of town. Don't get stranded while you're away from home. Preventative maintenance is their specialty at Green's Tire and Auto. And if your check engine light is already on, then Green's Tire and Auto can tell what's wrong and get it fixed. Before you start your road trip, take your car to Green's Tire and Auto, Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland.
Would you like to get the hell out of your life? If you do, we can help. Listen to life-changing stories of faith from ordinary people. Our guests share how they discovered hope, freedom, and God's amazing grace, and today are living a life of freedom with purpose. The show is called Get the Hell Out of Your Life with your host, Ron Myers. Heard every Saturday morning at 7 and 7:30 right here on 103.9 WYAB. It can also be heard on your favorite podcast platform.
You had an accident. Now you're here in Aftermarket Parts, Insurance Company Preferred, and a lot of other noise that serves to confuse you. Call Clinton Body Shop. We'll keep it simple. We are certified by 19 vehicle makers to assure you get a proper repair. We care about your investment and your safety. Call the shop who only wants one partner in the repair process, and that's you, the owner. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
From a cabin on a creek to a field where the big bucks sneak. Oh, yeah! Tom Smith Land and Homes. Find your place where your roots can grow. From hunting ground to your front door key, call the landman of Mississippi. Tom Smith Land and Homes. Yeah, the landman's who you need. Brought to you by Tom and Ellen Smith. Tom Smith Land and Homes. That's it.
Oh, yeah, you are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. Where did the time go? Where did the time fly? You know, it's been moving and grooving. And there was one thing that I wanted to talk about before I got off the air today. And it's the Hinds County Women's Republican Club. And they're having their monthly meeting May 18th, 2026. At the GOP headquarters in Jackson. And you know who's going to be there? Mike Hurst, the state GOP chairman. What I was trying to pull up, and it's not popping open for whatever reason, is Hinds County. Got it right here. 22,000 people voted Republican in Hinds County. Now, I know not everybody can make a luncheon on such short notice, but if you were ever thinking about making an impact here in the greater metro area and helping us in Hinds County, because I'll tell you what, being a Republican in Hinds County is like being a Christian in a Muslim country. You're fighting, you're scrapping. You're being attacked all the time, although it's much worse to be a Christian in a Muslim country than it is to be a Republican in Hinds County. Don't let me do that. But the analogy is there. The analogy is there. You know, the Democrats have a 40,000 vote lead on us. Yet, Hinds County is the 4th biggest county of Republican votes. So if we just let Hinds County go, then it's going to make it a lot tougher to do anything statewide. 22,000 votes is a lot of votes, ladies and gentlemen. It's not necessarily so intimidating to me, just from where I've lived, and I've worked with bigger numbers, and maybe I should be more concerned about it, more rural of a county, smaller population, but I'm not. But I want to say what Brother Clay talked about. Clay Manziel, State Representative, District 56 in Clinton. This is a great time to get involved in Hinds County politics if you've been thinking about it. A lot of people may not realize just how important Hinds County is to statewide races. In the last presidential election, only 6 counties in Mississippi had more Republican votes than Hinds County. And he goes on to talk about organizing and doing your part. Everybody knows that in my part of Terry too, people know when the election is. I get texts all the time for election day. Andrew, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about that gal? Should I vote in the Democrat primary? Should I vote in the Republican primary? And I have real conversations. I always try to get people to vote in the Republican primary, but some people are just so worried about the sheriff that you've got Republicans voting in the Republicans voting in the Democrat primary. And these are really staunch conservatives, but they're just so fearful of their civil liberties that they don't want to take that chance, you know? And I get it. But this is a chance for people to go out there and get involved. It was a good show today. Wasn't planning on doing 4 hours, But with your help, we made it happen together. Teamwork makes the dream work. And we'll be back again tomorrow. Bible study tonight. Got to unload some sheep feed and get signed up for some testing. I'm excited about it. I'll actually talk about it more in a little bit. I did see that Zuckerberg bought some Parkinson's company, research firm out of Denmark. That's kind of exciting. I'm going to go look into that too. Until tomorrow, everybody, take care, be blessed. Yes, and amen.